How many of you enjoy it?
What's happening? Whoa! This is so cool! Am I really in a comic book? Awesome!
So, if you woke up as a comic like that, what's the first thing you would do?
I was in a comic book?
If you woke up like that and you were all of a sudden like animated and you were a comic,
I don't know.
I'd look down to see
You
how big my dick is
big,
animated.
I knew he was gonna. That was gonna.
Why does it look like a triangle?
Yeah, it was like blotched out.
It's blurred out. Damn it! This is a kid's
this
novel.
is
You
terrible.
fucking suck.
I mean,
Howie.
Welcome to the night zone, hear the warriors speak. Life's the battlefield and we ain't feeling weak. From love to the game and the power we seek. Our voice is strong, breaking every peak. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Talk of love and battle scars, everything that's real. From touchdown to sermon, you know the deal. Strength in every word we begin to reveal. Truth in every tale as our lives we unveil. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness and fight all day. Guys Night Podcast, let's ride the wave. Politics and prayers, ain't no subject we shun. Keep it real, keep it raw till the battle's won. Fitness, just to faith, every topic under the sun. With honor and valor, every man's battle begun. Warriors with word swords through the air. Every point sharp and every talk fair. Knights at the round table, come and pull up a chair. Join the brotherhood, words laid bare. Protect and provide, we're knights in the fray. Nothing off limits, we got something to say. Life and love, fitness and fight all day. Guys Night Podcast, let's ride the wave.
The
swig
first one is a funny one.
my swigger.
My swigger, I can't say it.
Wow.
I am recording.
Oh well, that's gonna be.
It'll be viral by morning.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Guys Night Podcast. Tonight, it is just me, Will McEwen, and to my right, Evan from a long trip back in Austin. How's it going, buddy?
Good. I loved my trip in Austin. It was kind of nice getting doing something that it's not like getting up, go to work, or getting up, sleeping in, stuff like that. I like something different, visiting old friends.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Vacation.
Shout out to them too, because they look like they showed you a great time. No names, please, but yeah, it looked like they had a whole week of itinerary planned out for you.
Every time I come there, there's always new things to try out. They always show me a different part of the town, or there's something new in that part of town that we went to last year. It's always a fantastic trip.
Yeah.
And they're really nice people, and it's just every time it's so homely there. I feel like my second house sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their house feels like your second
Yeah,
house.
yeah, it's great. They love it.
Austin, Texas.
I think
Austin,
that means this is his first house.
Yeah, this is my first house right here. I could sleep with the dogs.
Yeah. And then, of course, David's always here. What's up, man?
Good morning.
Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam. Classic movie.
Great
Yeah.
movie. Well, we're going to talk about classics today. Like all the things that were classic good times for us as kids that kids are now frowned upon for doing. So stick around if you want to hear some interesting things that were awesome in the 90s and today are frowned upon heavily. But the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is Evan Snaps. Evan's got some videos to share with us as he comes back from Austin. Hopefully they're humorous. At least they'll make you laugh a little bit. So what do we got? What's the first one? First of all, I want to hear you say the word.
I can't even pronounce the damn word because of my dyslexia. I can't even. I can't even say it.
Surstroming.
Surstroming.
Surstroming. Say that three
Surstroming.
times fast.
Where do you see this word up there? Oh, there I see it now.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. It's Swedish. It's from Sweden. It's lightly salted fermented basic fish. It's in a can.
Basic fish.
All right, so this is the challenge. Apparently, I don't know if you necessarily have to lock yourself in a porta john. I don't know if that's part of it.
No, it's
but
not,
it does make it funnier.
Just be censored, people. There's going to be some nastiness going on in a second.
Can I
Okay.
make this bigger? There we go. That's what she said.
Oh, that looks so bad.
Like, I'm gone. Oh, this is Jason.
These are just Australian people
Mate, do you mind?
trying
I'm
to.
trying to have lunch here.
What happens if I don't get a peek down? I keep fucking vomiting it up. The longer you stay in there, the more of an idiot you look. Oh, fuck, I'm shaking.
Oh God!
I am on to my very last mouthful.
How does he do that?
The dude that's just straight vomiting.
Oh,
I'm done.
Oh, look at all the fucking puke.
You know,
he's,
oh, it's sprayed. Oh my God.
Play it cool.
You know how we know it's in Australia?
How?
Because all the puke goes down under.
oh.
That is fucking hilarious.
I just
though.
can't believe people. There's like tons of people a few months ago were trying this. I mean, tons. It was all over Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
All right, is this the next one we're supposed to watch right here?
No, that's not the next one. Hell
I
no.
have a different algorithm I'm thankful for.
Well, it's just all my friends sending me the stupid
That's
stuff.
the last one you sent me.
No, just go down. No, are you on?
Oh, but whoa, let's
No.
see that one
Wait,
right there.
Whoa,
that
whoa.
one. That's
when
the
a
one.
woman actually can do deep throating with her partner's lingam, that actually can heal trauma.
Wow.
It can release untrapped emotions. The unsuppressed desires and emotional release that can happen in deep throating is immense. If a woman is suppressing her voice, her needs, her desires, that there's a spot right here in the throat chakra. This is where the throat chakra sits. When you deep throat, that gets activated. So, we have nadis and energy centers all over the body, and one of them's here. When a woman actually can do
I
deep
like
throating
the
with
fact-
her
I mean,
this is
partner's
valuable
lingam,
information.
It
that
is, and I like the fact that Ron Burgundy was there
Yeah.
in sponsorship of it.
No,
It's science.
I look at your Facebook Messenger. Is it just
Oh, that's my Instagram.
Yeah,
message.
that one. That's the last video I sent you.
Oh,
This is military. This is a cool thing about history. I did not know about until my friend sent me.
Hold on a sec.
But how? You see, it was 1942, and the 22nd
Hold on a sec. How do I start this
Polish
fucking thing?
Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad lore, said, "Damn good deal." And in the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier. Maggots! As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They let the bear have smoko. Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely f***ing none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private. So when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek." And Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. they had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery,
not
he
real.
was
There's
promoted
no
to
way.
rank
This is
of
real.
corporal, and the
This is
22nd
real. Look it up.
changed their insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell.
Shut the front
This
door.
No,
absolute
I'm not that
unit
serious.
Smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.
Look at-
Based.
David, you gotta move
This bear was actually a soldier.
it's real.
All right, hold on a second.
You gotta like.
Hold the fuck on.
Yeah, we're gonna fact check the fuck out of this one.
I couldn't believe it until my friend sent it to me. I was laughing. I was like,
Did you actually look it up?
Yes, it's a thing.
Hey, Grok, how you doing? Oh, hold on a second.
I just couldn't believe him.
Hey, Grok, how's it going? I gotta change my speaker to.
Pretty good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So my friend Evan here said that there was a bear that was enlisted into the Polish army in the 1940s that has a story associated with him carrying artillery rounds. Is this a fact or a fiction?
Oh man, that's totally a fact. Evan's spot on. This bear named Wojtek got adopted by Polish soldiers in
Told you.
Iran back in 42, and they straight up enlisted him as a private so he could travel with him. He ended up hauling 100-pound artillery shells like a champ during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 44. Wild story, right? Got any more details from Evan?
No, but thanks for letting us know that's real. So there you go. Our newest guest, Grok. Grok, can we give you a name? Is there one that you prefer other than Grok?
Actually, call me
Ara? All right, Ara it is. All right, Evan. So that was an interesting fact that I did not see coming, dude.
I did not see it until my friend sent it to me, and I was like, "No fucking way." He's like, "Yeah, that's a real thing." He sent me a few other ones, but I'll save those later on for the next Evan snaps from the military history.
Question here: who selected the voice for Ara?
the British. Wojtek's unit was part of the
She's
Second
still
Corps.
talking. She's not done.
Oh, that's
Hold on.
very
I
appropriate.
gotta change your microphone so that it comes out of our mics. I made her voice actually.
Oh, you selected that voice.
Yeah, I was like, I want a skanky little Australian to talk fucking mean and angry and have no filter. And she was like, all right, mate. And then she just got like ridiculous with it. And then now I think she's like morphing into her own thing.
So what is this app on? Is it like ChatGPT or
This is Grok. Grok. It's basically like Chat GPT.
Okay.
A little bit better in my opinion.
Gotcha. I just never heard
because
of
of how she sounds.
No, more so in the work effect. So I actually didn't use Grok until about 3 weeks ago. And for work, I'll have like an hour or 2 hour meeting, and so I'll take that entire transcript and put it into Grok and be like, hey, give me a detailed analysis of this call, whatever the case might be. And I could put like 3 transcripts in a row and have 4 or 5 hours worth of meeting. ChatGPT will like shut down after you get like a page worth of data in there.
Yeah.
It'll just lock up. So
Even do you have the premium version or you do
Nope.
the free version?
free version.
That's okay.
Yeah, I actually now I build my spreadsheet or my like within 30 seconds of getting off the phone call, I copy the entire transcript, put it into Grok, ask for an ROI analysis, and give me a 10 slides breakdown. And I take that slide breakdown and go to gamma.com, and it creates my entire presentation for me in about 6 minutes from the time I end the call to the time I
That's fucking
have
sweet.
an ROI presentation for.
So if you're looking for a job at the place that Will works at and you're trying to figure out how to do it,
Yeah, I mean, if you're not utilizing AI, then you're just doing shit half-ass.
True.
It's like if you don't go to a construction crew and tell them, all right, guys, today you got to build a house without electricity because that's how men do it.
I mean, that's how the Amish do it.
Yeah, and fucking the Amish are slow as fuck.
Whatever. Whatever. They built my barn in like 38 minutes.
Yeah, with like fucking 200 of them.
No, there was only 148 of them.
None of them paying taxes
What?
either, by the way.
Jesus.
They move in bulk.
I can definitely see that.
They come in shipping containers, actually. All right, Evan. So the last Evan snaps that we have here tonight, that was entertaining. That was a good job.
Yeah.
You,
well, I just those most of my snaps that I show you guys, I have people send me on a daily basis. Like our friend Doug, he sends me like 50 snaps a day.
Yeah.
And then I have a few other friends that love sending me snaps, and like my friend Steve, he's a big history like.
So if you're trying to get a job where Doug works, all you have to do is just call his boss and tell him he's on Instagram with Evan all day long.
All right. So here's the next one Evan wants to talk about a little bit tonight. And this is just the world that we live in now with technology and where it stands.
Ryan? That's him, Ryan of Ryan's World. We did it! Ta-da! Whoa. Hey, someone's stealing my characters. We'll take this one. Okay, thanks, bye, see ya.
Pick it up. Now you pick it up.
That can't be possible.
Whoa.
Emma, Kate, I have to save them. I'm going in. What's happening?
Human trafficking.
Through a comic book.
Am I real?
So this is Evan's new favorite guy.
It's not my favorite guy. It's just
Ryan's World.
Me and my friends were talking about YouTube a few days ago, and I didn't even know about this guy up till like a week ago. And then I was like, there's no way this kid's a billionaire at 12 years old.
Is he a legit billionaire?
He's a legit billionaire at 12 years old. Because his family started his YouTube channel when he was like, I don't know what, like 4 years, 5 years old, something like that. And he's been going ever since. His parents buy him new toys, and he rates them. He tries them out on YouTube and just plays with them. And then over time, YouTube just grew even more and more on it. And now he has his own little YouTube channel of him talking about toys and other things. And he has
Ryan started in March 2015, became as a YouTube channel called Ryan's Toy Review, created by Ryan Kaji's parents. When he was 3 years old, featuring toy unboxing and reviews, the first video went up on March 16th, gained steady traction, moved onward. 2017, it rebranded to Ryan's World after a deal with Pocket Watch, expanding into merchandise, TV shows, and more. Dang, good for that kid, dude.
That's what I said. I'm like, geez,
Let's see.
man.
What is Ryan's net worth in 2025? And he just came out with he made a movie about him. Has an estimated net worth of $100 million.
So he's not quite a billionaire, Evan.
Oh, I
But
thought
that's
they-
right.
10% of the way there, though. I mean, that's a lot
Well,
closer than
it's-
I am.
That's closer than all three of us combined.
Yeah,
Just
just
for him.
But yeah,
If I had $100 million,
remix.
But I just couldn't believe how much he's worth and how much like he earns. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube opens up all kinds of capabilities, right?
Yeah, I have an idea. Let's be next.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm 100% on
Like
that
and
one.
subscribe, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's a great time to ask that. Just speaking of, tomorrow we're going to have the ex-chief down here.
Nice.
Should
He's
be pretty
the
exciting.
infamous ex-chief.
The infamous ex-chief. We'll have to hear what he has to say. Obviously, the talk of Lafayette Township will most likely come up, or maybe a few discussions about a disappearance.
Could be.
But maybe we'll move on to some other things. I've actually, if somebody's listening right now and you know a single father or a father who went through divorce, today going through some stuff that's happening between my 16-year-old daughter, who is deathly afraid of her mother, but won't do anything about it because she's 16 and doesn't understand the conflict or whatever. But like the idea of all the stuff that I've gone through, I'm almost to the point where it's like I believe I could sue the courts for the damage that they've done to her life due to the fact that they've been negligent regarding all the different cases I've brought to them. Because I don't have a high-powered attorney, I don't spend fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars on an attorney to try and change things over, and it's like they refuse to see. But like, there's so many stories of fathers that are out there that just want to spend time with their kids, and these conniving, evil women that keep them away. And I think we should do a podcast on that alone.
You know, I'm not a parent.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I'm pretty certain I'm not a parent, but I digress. But I have strong feelings about anything having to do with children, and that's one of them. I mean, there's certainly people that should be removed from people's lives, and that's why you turn to the court for help like that. And the courts don't always get things right, obviously. The thing that I would say to you as your friend is, this is the good news, and I'm just going to say it, and I say it to anybody else out here who's got similar, in that children are children only until 18 years old, and then 18 on their 18th birthday and beyond, they're now an adult, presumably, at least legally. And the good news is that you're gonna have her for the rest of your life, and she's very well aware, and anybody out there they're very well aware of what the other parent did when they were a child. So it goes in your favor. So yeah, it really sucks to lose parts of a child's childhood, I would assume. Again, I don't know that.
It's you know, it yes, eventually they turn 18, but what people don't realize is, and we've talked about this on so many different levels, the damages that you can do to a child between the ages of 5 and 18 are so severe that 18 doesn't mean it's just a number.
Right.
That kid still thinks they're like 11 because of how they've been treated, taught, or raised. You know, I'll give you an example. Here's the message that her mother sent her today. Why would you post your showcase info? You do understand that if your dad comes, we're done with cheer, no exceptions. He doesn't want to ever contribute or help pay for his daughter, but he wants to show up and watch it. First of all,
what's showcase info?
For their cheer competition. So she's in competitive cheerleading. So she has to post like that their competitions are coming up, etc. And her mom was like, your dad's going to find out who you cheer for. She was instructed not to tell me who she cheers for. So, I mean, obviously she does. And I'm able to find stuff out online, and we have our own line of communication. But the fact that a mother would tell her daughter, like, not to have their father involved. I said, if I was homeless and had no penny to my name, you should, as a mother, always want the father of your daughter to be involved. And I feel like there's a lot of women that would do anything to have the father even slightly involved in their children's lives.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have a father that wants to be involved in your children's lives, and you do anything and everything you can to push that out of the way or make him not part of the picture or include him, or like, you're just a shit mom.
Yeah.
You are. You're not looking out for the children. For whatever reason, something in your life sucks, or all of it sucks, and you're just looking for an excuse to get back at, you know, this one person that is maybe happier or doing better than you, or whatever the case might be. But either way, using children against each other is disgusting.
No, it is 100%.
And fuck, if any guy out there's been paying child support for 16 years, they damn sure know that they have investment into that outside of what they pay through a courts on a monthly basis. So it's just insane when people say things like that. But like, to deal with this is like I could take her to court for that. I'll go to court. The people in the courthouse, because I'm a man, will look at me like, oh yeah, sure, right, it's the mom's fault, because that's what they do every time you go to the courthouse. Man, if you're out there and you've been into a courthouse, comment below if you don't feel like an asshole just for walking in when it has anything to do with custody, because you're the guy. Then you get in there, and in Medina specifically, 100% of the magistrates and judges in the family court are women. They what's the word? Berate you. That's not the proper process. You're not introducing this right. Meanwhile, we'll allow the woman to like have every chance to combat any conversation at all. And I mean, it was extremely two-sided in every case that I've been in there. Even when I've won, there was a point I won 3 contempt cases in a row, which at that point should have been, if not jail time, a fine. They made her write a fucking page article on how she was going to be a better co-parent, which obviously did not help.
Isn't that the equivalent to like in the 5th grade where you got to go on right on the board? I will not show my butt.
Yeah, like the Bart Simpson.
Like Bart Simpson,
yeah, right. It's just insane. So I'm hoping we can eventually do a podcast on that with a couple of fathers that are going through like that, because there's just a part of the family court system that's so one-sided, and it's disgusting because, frankly.
Well, I think it's wrong, but what you're going through. But also, I think it's you said there's a lot of women magistrates. I think a lot of those women were probably had problems with their fathers. So I'm thinking that's why they're seen one-sided most of the time.
I think they got daddy issues.
They probably have daddy issues.
Where are these girls anyway?
I just don't know.
And they're smart too.
I don't think it's that. It goes back to, if you look at a conservative approach, that women are the nurturers.
Yes.
So we had this thing where it's like, oh, mothers should get more time because they're typically the ones home with the children. They're taking care of them, et cetera, et cetera. But what's changed over time is that actually single father homes produce a much more nuclear family style event, because they're disciplined, they have rules, they have guidelines. There's like more structure to it, even a single father, because that's the father's responsibility versus the mother, who is more so of a, I I love you, you're the best, even though there's lots to work on, and there's just none of that. Like, there's none of that balance.
Not to go like down a whole like woke ass road for the episode here, but like I think that plays a part in this as well. Like, you know, this is definitely going to get dicey for the sensitive out there, but men have a role in the world and women have a role in the world. And, you know, before anybody out there says, oh, see, you know, I've never wanted a woman barefoot in the kitchen or anything like that. Like, you know, because I pull out, like, what's she going to be barefoot in the kitchen for? Like, I do all the cooking in my household. Okay. And there's no women living in my house either, but I digress. So I'm not that like traditional person, like, no, women are going to do this and men are going to do this. But I will say that we have different roles in the world. Like, men can impregnate women, women cannot impregnate women. Men cannot carry children, women can carry children. Argue accordingly amongst yourselves, people. But so when
Bill Gates would have an argument against that.
There's a billion people out there that have an argument against that.
Definitely not a billion, more like 100,000.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Maybe 10 people that we know would have an argument. But no, my point being, though, is that speaking in general classic terms, like when it comes to sympathy and emotions, men do not necessarily, unless they're sociopathic, men don't take these and use those to manipulate people, because men are generally not emotional responders. We're stoic, you know, we're the strength, we're the, you know, ones that went out and hunted and gathered and provided, and whereas the women are the nurturers and so forth. But and not saying that there's not crossover, that, you know, women cannot be aggressive or be hunters or killers, and that, you know, but it is impossible. It is impossible for men to breastfeed. Not that I've tried, but I'm just saying, I know it's impossible biologically speaking. No, but so what I'm getting at, though, is like you get into a court setting and we go in, or I say I'm just I'm going on a ride along with you on this one.
Right.
We go in with all of the logic and all of the organization and everything that makes sense, because we've done the research, and from A to Z, 1 to 10, here's all the facts right here.
Sure.
Whereas a woman goes in crying. And it's, you know, and confused and breathing strangely and unable to talk and everything. And it's the same, like, when you just set all that aside, you walk into a room full of strangers and you're looking around and, like, okay, you have people that are staring at you, smiling, and they're inviting and everything, and you have a reaction to that. Whereas, you know, the guys or girls on this side are scowling at you, and they kind of look like, you know, looking you up and down, like in a threatening way, right? You have a reaction to that. And, you know, you decide, okay, well, I'm either going to go and attack those people, or I'm going to go make friends with these people, depending on what you want to do. So I think in court, it's the same thing. People walk in, and yeah, the person who's coming in doesn't have composure and everything, there's a sympathy and an empathy for that person. Of course. And
yeah, I would say that. I mean, because you can feel that tide switch, right? Like, me, when I go in there, it's like, look, I just want to lay my evidence down, show you the documentation of it, and move forward. Like, we should agree that this is, you can see in this evidence that X, Y, and Z. Yes, move on to the next piece.
Why aren't you crying? You're an asshole.
Well, 100%, right? And that's the look you get. Like, what, you know, he's just such a dick. He's just coming at it at this woman, is how I feel.
Have you ever cried?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure?
Yeah, actually.
Can you cry right now?
Not on demand.
Okay.
It just happened. What movie did I watch? Fuck, I don't remember. But yeah, it happens. Movies are fucking touching.
Yeah. Was it?
True.
But what was the movie?
What was the movie?
I don't know. I think it was Freaky Friday.
What?
What? Lindsay Lohan.
What?
Lindsay Lohan. Evan has shed tears over Lindsay Lohan.
It was the last minute when it's like, oh man, she just gets it finally. Like, man, you know, that poor guy is trying to marry her mom and just wanted to be a good guy, and she treated him so poorly that whole time.
Oh,
touching.
There it is. If he'd cried, then maybe he would have.
But he was stoic, bro.
Yeah.
No, but it's just one of those things where the court system, I think, is completely jacked. I think that there's a potential lawsuit against the court system that might have to happen eventually in order for courts to start revisiting the way that they look at it. And like, it's changed some over time. But you know, if you think of anything involving family courts, it's usually what? Deadbeat dads who don't pay child support, don't see their kids, don't want to see their kids, are behind, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody talks about the infinite amount of fathers that are out there trying to spend more time with their kids, and an ex-wife or a baby mama that is utilizing anything and everything she can to be extra involved in his life, but not allow their kid to be part of their life. Utilize anything she can to get more money or whatever the case might be. And when it comes to the fact that, you know, most men are like, whatever, it's just money, or whatever, it's just this, or, you know what, she's crazy, I'll deal with that. The only way you can truly get to a man when it comes to his kid is his kid. And nobody, long term, the kid is the one who suffers.
Yeah.
Like I can compartmentalize it and say, you know what, this sucks that I'm not able to have the relationship with my daughter. This sucks that I can see my daughter making some bad decisions, going down the wrong path, developing some bad habits. It is awful. Fortunately, there's going to come a point in time where she's going to have to make her own decisions and choices, and she's not going to be equipped to do that. So she's going to make a lot of mistakes, but she's going to be 19, 20, 22, 25. You can make those mistakes until you're 35
Sure.
and get plan and still have a great life.
Yeah.
It's the fact that when you can't do something about something, you know, you can have an impact on, and you're just, it's like,
Outside of you and mom, do you feel she has any other like decent influences? Is there anybody else in the family you feel that she's close to?
Well, so that's another aspect of it too, right? My family's always been supportive. I mean, I've had some people in my family who might have made comments or said some things about the way the other family reacts or treats people. But for the most part, you know, I would never, like, even when she was living with me, I would never, like, nobody would be like, you can't call your mom on her birthday, or you can't do this.
Right.
Whereas her entire family, for whatever reason, they despise me. Now, mind you, I was faithful through a marriage that I'm certain she was not. I've never done anything to hurt anybody. The only thing I wanted to do is not be married to her anymore. I've always been there as a father. I mean, sure, when I was 30 years old, I might have went to Vegas for a weekend or something while I was going through my divorce process. And of course, everybody thinks that's a fucking terrible thing.
Oh, how dare you?
Right. But ultimately,
No. Not how dare you for going. How dare you for not inviting me?
Yeah.
Even though we didn't know each other at the time.
Right.
How dare you?
But it's always been that thing where it's like, oh, why does he just seem to be doing just fine? And meanwhile, I'm struggling, instead of looking at the fact, oh, maybe because all I want to do is mooch off of other people. I don't want to work. I haven't lifted my finger in years. I dropped out of school. Like, they don't want to look at themselves for any of the fucking reasons they're in the position they are. And this goes back into my body, my choice for all you women out there always screaming my body, my choice. Like, you're so willing to have a child or end a child's life and make that decision and not want to include anybody else because it's your body, your choice, but you have no problem going after my wallet if you have a child with me, despite the fact that it was my body's and my body's choice to put that baby in you. So it's like one of those arguments that I have against when it comes to that whole abortion segment, because, man, it's just one of those conversations where it's like, no, you don't. That decision's going to affect me for the next 18 years as well.
Yeah.
Right. And and you're getting to make that choice, but together is what made that child.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyhow, rant over.
Thank you for coming to our rant.
I digress.
I do know, we'll pick it up offline. I actually do know somebody, in a maybe diluted, but similar situation. And he'd actually love to come on and talk with us. Good dude too. He's an interesting guy. So
awesome. Well, hey, let's convert this conversation or transition to this conversation into some things that are related that are coming to an end here. We're going to get to some good stuff later. So if you're still with us, make sure you stay tuned. Because for you kids that are, I should say you kids, for yous of all that was like me and was in a kid in the 80s and 90s, we got some great stuff to catch up with on soon. So we're going to do that. But first, let's transition over to some current events, David. What's happening in the world today? And how would baby mamas affect that?
Baby mamas. I don't know. I don't have any baby mamas, so.
Well, for you that are looking for a date and finding it extremely difficult to do so, you may be able to grab a sign and go stand in the cheese and milk aisle
Jeez.
and request blowjobs for cheese and milk, because Trump said no more fucking handouts.
Yeah. There's been a lot of interesting memes in the last week that, you know, we went from the No Kings protest to the Feed Me Kings, you know, very quickly mode of like.
Jesus.
So, yeah. Oh, there's so many interesting things out there. And I've got a couple things that are on my mind this week. I guess one thing to touch on, positive news right up front, is the Fed actually reduced the borrowing rates by another 1/4 point. So that's two reductions in the last 2 meetings. So 0.5 point down, which is really, really good news. So mortgage rates are at their lowest now that they've been, I think, since 23.
When did that take place? Was that Wednesday?
That was Thursday, I'm pretty sure.
Because I swear I was in a sauna at the gym with a friend, the show, who's a loan officer.
Okay.
And he said the news from the Fed was bad.
Well, he was
mistaken.
Mistaken, yeah, because they dropped another 1/4 point.
Fantastic. That's great. That's why everybody wants me to do an IRL right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's on my VA loan nuts right now, trying to get me to drop my rate by 0.10.
Yeah, it's not anything to get real excited about refining yet, unless you're on, somehow on something in a 7 or 8 or trying to consolidate a construction loan or something like that.
Right.
But so good news out there for those that may still be renting. That, of course, is 100% interest rate. I own rental property, so I'm very excited when my tenants pay their rent because that goes 100% into my bank account. So, but there for those that are out there looking to purchase, that's good news. But yeah.
65%, 66% of the country under the age of 35.
Renters.
Yep. 18 to 24 makes 78%.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy world we live in.
Big numbers.
Own nothing, be happy.
If you're shopping here in the greater Northeast Ohio area, hit me up. But yeah, so interesting things going on. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this. I don't know if we were recording yet, but our government is still in shutdown. If we're not at the longest one, it will be very shortly.
I still can't believe it's going on.
Well,
That's
what
ridiculous.
does it mean to you, Evan, that the government is shut down?
For me, it's because government employees are. My understanding, they're not getting paid right now, right? Most of them.
I don't know. Are they?
I'm not sure about that. I know one of the billionaires decided to pay the U.S. Army for the Army military guys with his own money.
That's a rumor.
Is that a rumor?
I mean, it's a statement, but whether money has been transacted yet or not.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say you have to admire the competitiveness in Donald Trump to beat his own record.
Yeah.
35 days from that was the 2018 to 2019 shutdown, and that was over the border wall.
So let's just talk about government shutdowns for just a moment here. In that, so the government is open per se, meaning that if France all of a sudden decides they're going to go to war with us, well, they're going to get their fucking asses kicked because we're open.
Open for ass whoopings.
We never close for ass whoopings all day long. But this has to do with funding and approving how money is spent at the federal level here. So, yeah, the longest shutdown was in 2018. I'm intimately familiar with that shutdown. It actually changed my entire career, but we'll just say that it's in a positive way because everything that's happened to me since then has been completely positive. And we'll leave it at that, but I'm an expert on it because I was one of the people during that time was not collecting a paycheck. So I knew exactly what that feels like. So for some people, so the big ones right now that are in the news are like the air traffic controllers and whatnot.
Well, can we go through this quick run and then you can add on this? So I just asked Grok, aka Ara, what still works? Social Security checks still get mailed on time. It's an already funded program.
Yep.
Medicare, Medicaid payments, still getting paid. Military active duty, still getting paid, but it says delayed until shutdown ends. So it sounds like they're just collecting no checks. But
it means that they are required to go to work and they will ultimately get. So rewinding back to 2018 for just a moment. certain amount of people were just furloughed.
Right.
Like, so and technically they could have went and filed for unemployment at that point to collect a benefit for that, but they were furloughed, not coming to work. If you were not furloughed, you were going to work. And then once they eventually signed continuing resolution to refund everything, everybody got back pay and all of that stuff. So,
All right. So the next one's air traffic control. Planes still fly normally. Postal Service, UPS delivers mail, self-funded. VA hospitals, they're open. It's mandatory funding. Food stamps, benefits continue for 1 to 2 months. We're running up on that. Baby mama's drama. Unemployment benefits still paid. They're state run. Courts are still operating 2 to 3 weeks on reserve funds. So federal courts are probably starting to slow down a little bit. I'm assuming we'll see how that goes. And we'll,
same thing though. Those folks will still be required to go to work. But you know that comes along with taking those jobs. Like that's part of it.
All right. What stops or gets delayed? National parks and monuments are closed. Federal museums are closed. Passport offices and new applications delayed or closed.
That's racist.
IRS tax funds are delayed. Tax refunds. Excuse me. FDA food inspections are reduced. Oh, God. Federal student aid is slowed or halted. Small business loans, no new approvals. Federal workers, 800,000 plus are furloughed or working without pay. So we talked about that. Yep. Back paid later. So, according to ChatGPT, I am not affected.
Same here.
I don't do any of those jobs.
Right. Yeah. We don't do any of those jobs. And meanwhile, it's all political talking points and all that stuff.
And it's really just designed to get us to hate each other enough to blame each other's party for all the issues.
That's really, so the interesting thing about all of that is there's not any new laws that are holding up. Now, so you guys understand where exactly. Do you understand how we're shut down, or how we're quote unquote shut down?
Well,
Do you
we're
understand
shut down
why?
because of the resolution. They're not voting to pass it, which is pretty much a standard feature.
Who's
or standard? Well, the Democrats are the ones that are the not voters at this point in time, or not voting enough, right?
Okay, so it's so the CR has passed through the House, right. So now it's at the Senate, and so a CR needs, and so of course you have the top brass of the Democrats coming on and saying, well, they have the White House and they have the House and they have the Senate and they have everything and they've shut us down, this, that, and the other thing. Okay. So for the CR to pass it, they need 60 votes in the Senate. They can't pass with a majority unless it's beyond 60. So that's, I think, the first thing that most people don't understand. There's two things that I want to talk about in this, and the reason why I'm bringing this up. And I hope that while we're going to get a little political for a minute here, sorry guys, I know it's boring, but there's a couple of very key things here that I really want people to be paying attention to as we roll through these. And then also this, I think, will help a lot of people when you're looking at politics or politic things or messaging in the future. Because this is the other thing is that this CR has been voted for. It's just been cut and pasted 13 other times before this. So each time that they've gone along, they have passed this. The same people right now that will not, the additional 9 votes that are needed from Democrats in the Senate in order to get this thing passed, they have voted on this previously. The reason why they're not voting on it right now, or they're voting against it right now to leave it in this limbo here, is because they're trying to force a reversal of, there's certain aspects of the big, beautiful bill that will negate subsidies and credits for Obamacare. And those are set to expire. And that's what they're negotiating for with this. That's the reason why they won't sign it now. They're using this to strong arm this. So yeah, you could argue and say, well, if the Republicans would come back and negotiate, that would be a good thing. Okay, that's an argument to be made. But quite literally, this is where they're at. They're basically deciding that, okay, we can make this very painful for everybody who's getting subsidies right now. We're going to head to a point where we're going to have to make a choice, because the Republicans are saying, no, we passed this other bill and we're trying to eliminate, and we're going to talk about health insurance here in just a minute versus health care. We're going to talk about that because that's related to this. But
well, so let's when you brought up a lot of things. Like you talk about the CR, for instance. One, it's already drafted. It's basically a cut and paste.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
It happens all the time.
Yep.
Shouldn't be an issue. And it's one of those things where you need 60 instead of just a majority. So it doesn't matter who is in the potential driver's seat with the most amount of Senate members.
Right.
If one party wants to hold it up because of trying to negotiate something, that's what they're doing. So they're essentially utilizing the ability to scare the American public to get something that they want, that the American public primarily at a 60% rate probably doesn't even want. And at this point in time, so if you just asked Grok or CR, I just asked it why it thinks what the case is, and Republicans' position is just to pass it, reopen the government, no policy writers, and that goes both ways, folks. Just so you're aware, like they could be refusing to vote as well unless they wanted a policy change to the current process to just continue doing business. Or Democrats, their position, no CR without concessions. That goes back into the expiring Affordable Care Act that's coming up with Medicaid cuts and subsidies.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the idea of it. Right now, it's 51-49 Senate majority for the Republicans. It has failed 13 times in its procedural votes. Typically 52 to 54 yes. Most Republicans, a few Democrats, to 45 to 46 no. Mostly Democrats. Only 3 Democrats and 1 independent have crossed lines to support it. Rand Paul is the only Republican not to vote for it. Do you have any idea why his? I feel like he's just trying to make a name for himself.
He's eccentric.
Yeah,
he's eccentric for sure. My theory, I'm not even going to call it a theory. My guess is that he is the person that is giving the illusion that the Republicans aren't our way or no way, if that makes any sense. Like, so if you think about like all the bickering and all the back and forth about who's, the left believes this and they're correct and the right believes that and they're correct. Like, I think my guess is that he's trying to give that appearance here because he's super conservative. Like not even that's not even in question.
Yeah, his mostly is just based off of his fact that we like recklessly spend as a government essentially, and he wants to be against that whole where we just continue.
Yeah,
like he's like CRs or rubber stamps. It's just a quick way to like move forward and keep spending and not paying
kick
attention.
It down the line,
right?
Which is
what it is.
Yeah.
And but he knows that vote's not going to. I mean, if it comes down to it being 60, he'll vote to pass it. I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
But he's making a stance right now, really for his constituencies.
Constituencies.
Speak tonight. Yeah. Good night. His constituents, in order to save face on some of the things that he wants to save face or be known for.
I agree with all of those things. And I guess I'll jump over to the Dem side for a minute here. It's like, well, because the feeling that, I guess your natural feeling about it is now is not the time, like we're not stopping the whole thing to do this, but maybe now is the time for addressing all of these things. It's great to have Grok along for the ride here.
Grok's a superstar. Really helps out fucking narrow down some details. I know it's coming next, so why don't we get into the Affordable Care Act, because that's where you're
the ACA. A little bit, because these things are definitely tied together, and I'll share this without going into, of course, any names or anything, but I like to sample my audience of friends out there and just kind of get people talking and thinking, and then also see, and in my social media, it's I mean, I have a pretty big following of people that I've met over the years, and they're all over the place in terms of politics, ethnicity, age, all that stuff. And in the midst of all of this, I posted this, and I'll just read it, and then I'll just kind of give you guys some highlights because I think it's interesting. I posted, recipients of SNAP, EBT, Section 8 housing, and government-provided health insurance should be prohibited from using nicotine, alcohol, and recreational marijuana. Agree or disagree? Why?
Agree.
So you agree with it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're not better than themselves with any of those things in their system around able to buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but it's supposed to be helping. You're not helping yourself when you're consuming or distribution those items.
What do you think, Will?
So, apologies, is reading a little bit, but your question is if they are using it for any of those things, they should be not able to have SNAP benefits. Is that?
Let me read it again so
Please
that
do.
we can make sure you and the audience get it for sure here. Recipients of SNAP, EBT, Section 8 housing, and government-provided health insurance should be prohibited from using nicotine, alcohol, and recreational marijuana. Agree or disagree? Why?
In that instance, I would disagree.
Okay.
I don't believe they have I don't believe as a government we have the right to control the people. I understand they're receiving benefits from them, as far as support, but then you can't exchange support for freedom, right?
Yeah, but what happens if that freedom, you're cutting other people out because, say, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're on government medical benefits, but because they're on government medical benefits, they're doing worse to the system because they're destroying their bodies and the government's paying for them.
Sure.
So that makes no sense to me.
I understand that, but that would be like, okay, basic education is free, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can go to public school at no charge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're
It's not free.
What's that?
It's not free.
Oh boy.
It's just as free as SNAP,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's funded
not-
by the
it's-
government through
it's-
tax dollars.
It's funded
just
by
like-
us.
Right.
Right. Just like the school. I pay school taxes, but I have no children that will ever go to a school. I still have to pay the taxes.
Sure. So imagine if you went to school and you like talking to girls, but you weren't allowed because you're going to a school that is providing you an education paid for by the government, funded by its taxpayers.
So my most liberal followers / friends take your position. In fact, I'll just read a response here. Disagree. People receiving SNAP, EBT, Section 8, or government health insurance are still adults with the same rights as anyone else. These programs exist to make sure families can meet basic needs, not to control what people do in their private lives, so on and so on. One person, then went on and commented on top of that. Of course, the other libs in the group said, I couldn't have said it any better.
See, I can see it from both sides.
Yeah.
Now, but at the same point in time, I do believe that funding is there to support family and to create an environment where somebody can support their kids and have their kids have healthy food, et cetera, et cetera. If there's anything, and this is where it goes to checks and balances, if there's anything out there, if there's that they're spending this money on or they're caught in any point in time, it should be a one strike, you're out. As far as if there's any misuse
Criminal
or
activity.
criminal activity surrounded around SNAP. For instance, if I'm getting SNAP benefits and I say, hey, Evan, if you give me a kilo of Coke, I will buy all your family's groceries for the next year.
That absolutely happens.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
aware. Yeah, you're absolutely aware that happens, right? Like people trade their SNAP benefits for whatever else because they don't have money.
Yep.
So what do they have? It's just like a bartering system. So if you're caught utilizing that in that sense of, then yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
it should be done. If you are, I do believe in drug testing for SNAP benefits. It's almost like an employer-employee relationship, right? If I employ you to work for me, I should have the right to drug test you because that could affect work. So
Yeah.
if you're getting government funded assistance and you're utilizing crack, cocaine, heroin, whatever else, I should have the right to then suspend your benefits until you're clean.
So my feeling, well, let me share this part, because here's someone who has the opposing view, and this person simply stated it this way. I'd be frustrated if a friend asked for money for food and then I saw her out partying, smoking, or doing drugs the same night. Those things cost a lot, and I know from experience that when I go out too much, I end up broke, which is why I try to make smarter choices. Everyone deserves to live comfortably and have some fun, and even some vices, but if someone consistently spends their money on bad decisions, why should we, as the taxpayers, have to fund it? Maybe we can opt in or opt out this type of support, so on and so on.
Well, and see, that's where we need to do a better job of these different programs. For instance, SNAP benefits. You shouldn't just be getting a card that allows you to spend $400 at the grocery store. Like that $400 or $300 a month should be based off of specific things that are needed.
One quick side note too, just on SNAP. This would be a whole other put on our tinfoil hats podcast. But are you aware that certain products are positioned in a sponsor or specifically aligned for SNAP?
What do you mean?
Certain food products, and it's not the healthy ones.
You're talking about
foods with highly addictive, high levels of sugar and bullshit.
Like Rice Krispies is like a sponsor.
It's exactly like
Snap, Crackle.
see
what I did there?
Look at that.
Dad joke.
We had a meeting at our company one time. My old company, I was talking about the chips, the candy, and how the beer and the pop were centered in certain areas, because we have to learn about distribution and marketing, about what sides of town would be the best places to put it and what areas to put it.
Yeah.
Because people with EBD cards and stuff would be the best place on certain parts of the register, certain locations in the store to grab those. And if we could get our beer displays around those parts, that would be a good place too, because it would sell.
All right, so 40 cents of every dollar in food purchases by SNAP households went for basic items: meat, fruit, vegetables, bread, milk, eggs. 20 cents of every dollar was spent on things like sweetened drinks, mostly soda pop or soft drinks, desserts, salty snacks, candy, and sugar. In particular, soft drinks were the top individual commodity among food stamp households in this study. For example, a breakdown of the appendix of study shows soft drinks are 5.4% of the overall spending by SNAP consumers. Milk products are less than 3.8%.
So, there aren't really...
I mean, I grew up on Mountain Dew. I'm good.
Yeah, but you got to understand, things change. Like, the formulas change with some of these pops, like, over time. Like, some of these places, pops used to use sugarcane. Now they use syrup.
Well, okay, so the food industry has been hijacked by the tobacco industry.
Sure.
And all of these foods are made with the same exact addictive properties. Like, and if you ever really want to dispute that, like if you think about like your favorite candy bar, and I know it's probably hard for you to pick because I think you're indiscriminate with candy bars.
Absolutely. I do like Nutrageous though. Shout out to my dad.
Yeah. Well, so mine is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And it's not even necessarily about the taste, but it's kind of just that sort of crunch that you feel like when you take a bite into it.
Yeah.
And then, the chocolate, and then the peanut butter hits. Like that's...
And it's like a perfect little disc. You can make the decision if you want to bite into it or you just want to slide the whole thing in like a quarter in the jukebox.
I like the... Yeah, it's a good one. Talk about things from the 90s. We're not quite to weave back into that yet. But no, and I like the big cup ones, which have got like quadruple the peanut butter in it.
Or did you see the ones now they start to put Reese's Pieces in them on top of it?
I've seen that with the pretzels in there. So now you're getting the salty and the sweet in there with it. So
just finding all kinds of ways to put processed fucking shit in our bodies.
I'm salivating like Pavlov's dogs right now, by the way. But Yeah, they didn't discover this shit by accident.
Right.
This is all by design for sure. And there's a connection to these things. But so anyway, so I posted this. I thought it would be interesting to see some discussion here. And there are people in this group from these comments kind of going back and forth. And it's clear that people took the position of, the one girl who said, well, I wouldn't give them money, or if I gave them money and then I saw them partying.
Right.
That's really what's happening here. Like I have no doubt, and I have all of the sympathy and everything for the people out there who need temporary and in some cases permanent assistance. Like SNAP in particular is a supplemental. Like these people are working and they simply don't have enough to cover their bills and be able to, keep their children, fed. So they're working and they're trying. Well, in the times of my life where, I decided, well, hey, I want to go take a trip to Germany. I want to go do this, or shit. Well, I just got a bill I didn't anticipate, and, I didn't necessarily have great savings to be able to pay this. Like, I have to make choices with that. That means, okay, well, then I'm not going to Germany, or I'm, not going to be driving, or I'm not going to go out to dinner, or, I'm not going to have steaks. I'm going to, have to do that awful fucking fish that Evan was showing us, whatever, right? Adults make these decisions on, okay, well, I can't afford this, so I'm going to have to do these other things here. And that's really what I see in the people that need this sort of assistance. It doesn't make any sense to me at all that somebody who needs to rely on these programs has a nicotine addiction and they're funding that. So really what that means is that whether they have an addiction or they just enjoy, whether it's smoking or vaping or chewing or whatever it is, we the taxpayers are basically paying for that.
Well, they're not buying it with their SNAP benefits.
They're not, but they're
getting SNAP benefits to help them procure their cigarettes with their basic
That's
income.
essentially what it is, because if your total bills for the month are $1,000 and you get from your part-time or full-time employment and then your supplement coming from any of these programs, and then you net $1,000, okay, perfect. There's nothing more. Now it sucks that you're not saving any money. Like I understand that. Okay, great. But now you have, what does a pack of cigarettes cost nowadays?
God, I don't know. It's been a minute since I bought some, but I think they're like $10 or $12.
It's not $5. Like
no, it's like $10 or $12 in Ohio, and I mean, depending on where you're at, New York, probably $20. I'd imagine.
I saw a sign. I just it was rhetorical.
Open up your heart. No. Speaking of 90s. God,
wow.
The 90s were just so good.
That was a shout
out. You know where
out.
that's from?
That's Ace of Base right there, Evan.
That's right. Ace of Base. Just to show you how big of a nerd I was, I had Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign on a cassette tape. On repeat. It was only that song on both sides.
Were you going through a phase?
I don't know what I was doing with that song. I just remember going to bed with my fucking Walkman.
Yeah.
With the shitty headphones. They had that silver like band.
Yeah.
And the little puffy fucking ear things.
Did you have the splitter jack so you could put an extra pair of headphones in there for your boyfriend?
I blame my parents. Okay. For moving me from California to Ohio. Somehow Ace of Base was cool in Ohio. I do not remember it being cool in California. But when I moved here, it was like, this is the coolest song ever. You just learned one of the most embarrassing things about me.
I love it.
Oh my God.
The only thing that was cool about those girls was they were hot and from Sweden, I think.
I don't remember. I couldn't tell you a thing about them.
Find out where Ace of Base is from.
Okay, all right.
Let us know. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden.
All right,
Scandinavian.
Back to seeing a sign.
I saw a sign in front of the market the other day. I think some packs are as much as $17 here in Ohio.
Wow.
So
was it Lafayette Market?
It might have been Lafayette Market.
Oh, it's because they're funding the fucking macro conspiracy.
They are, yeah, through the cigarettes, I guess. But so let's.
Sweden.
It was Sweden. Okay.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden. A Swedish pop group from. I can say Gothenburg, Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us about them?
Yeah.
There's a whole little thing. They started the band in 1987.
Checks out.
What else? Let's see the original members. I can't see their names.
Find out if either one of them have any of those cool IKEA wrenches in their pockets. You know, the ones you put together, your desk. You know, it seems to be the same tool, whether it's a desk or, a table that's supposed to hold 400 pounds. All right.
The funny thing is, I've only heard of them once. I've only heard one of their songs.
Was it I Saw the Sign?
Yes, I think that was. My thing
There's like 3 or 4 from that album.
All That She Wants.
Yeah,
is another baby.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever hear?
That was your ex-wife's favorite song, I think. Got him.
Well, my thing was, do you remember Aqua?
I don't remember.
The electric that did Barbie.
Yeah, they had
that was the other band.
Yeah. Aqua, and there was another pop group.
Just one.
No, there's
just one.
There was multiple European groups I was listening to.
What was the one? What was the boys? Hanson,
the Hanson brothers.
That's they were one-hit wonders, and there was another one-hit wonders, but they were from Ireland. What is that?
Chumbawamba?
No,
do you remember what was it?
Chumbawamba.
Yeah, Chumbawamba. What was their song though?
I get knocked down, I get up again. You ain't ever gonna keep me down.
Evan, you ever heard that song?
Yes, I heard.
I was just say you're younger than us a little bit by about 10 years. So,
but no, I've heard a lot. I like a lot of bands from the 80s and early 90s.
You know why?
Why?
Because it was better.
Because it was real fucking music back then.
Yes. I agree. Most music these days are not the same as back.
What's your favorite band, Evan? What would you say your favorite is?
I don't have a favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I have a multitude of favorite bands and musics.
Yeah.
Because I like electronic music, but I also like heavy metal.
Okay.
And I also like classic rock, like Van Halen, but also like Disturbed.
Okay.
Here you guys for your musical pleasure.
Yes. God. Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah. Look at these. Look
That's
at these hotties right here.
About.
Keyboard. Gotta have the keyboard in the fucking 80s.
Oh man. Look at these hot. Now, guys, if my left hand goes under the table, just mind your business.
Look at this guy. There you go.
Got the hair.
Look how lame they move.
Oh, look at her.
They're hot though.
Oh my god.
No twerking necessary.
Yes.
You know, I couldn't even told you what they look like. I was just about the music.
Yeah.
13 years old.
Okay. I believe that. I believe there's not a poster of the Ace of Base hidden in this basement somewhere.
God.
Well, Christmas is coming up, guys.
Yeah.
We're looking for something for the podcast studio.
That's a great song.
Ace of Base, if you're out there, we're happy to have you on for a guest appearance and make an exception.
I was just going to say,
awesome.
the next step here, Evan, is to find them and let's get them in.
We might have more fans than them at this point, so there's a chance.
It could be.
There's a chance.
Well, how... oh yeah, that's not their page. I was going to say that page has only got 51,000 subscribers. So
But
that's
like everybody used to listen to, like, do you remember the old techno music Sandstorm?
Of course.
Oh, that was like
Darude.
Yes.
I was right about when I turned 21. That was like every club played that one.
That song still checks out.
Yes, today.
That's a fucking classic right there.
Ace of Base has 1.3 million subscribers.
Oh,
jeez.
Okay.
So they're still rocking it.
They're
all that she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was another band. God, I'm trying to look them up right now.
Yeah, when that one came out, like that was like my steering clear of it. I was like, oh, I see where this is going. Yeah, hot girls. All she wants another baby.
They're
it's like,
luring you in.
Nope, I'm going to Denmark.
So real quick, David, to go back on some of the things that you talked about.
Yeah.
Right now, in the past month, illicit drug use, 9.6% of families receiving government assistance, compared to 6.8% of those not receiving assistance were utilizing illicit drugs. So a 3% increase in drug use and those that are, and a lot of that, let's be honest though, a lot of that comes from poverty, from being in those communities that are receiving the majority of it, where drug use is widely accepted and a part of lifestyle. If you're in that poverty level, obviously depression and other mental factors play a part as well in drug use. So a lot more to it than just, hey, they're getting, they're living life and driving Escalades, Broader estimates, substance abuse rates among welfare recipients range from 4% up to 37%, depending on where you're looking at. And this includes things like drug use, binge drinking, et cetera, with mid ranges around the 9 to 10% figure. Alcohol is a primary substance among public assistance recipients in treatment. School accounts for alcohol accounts for 37% of substance abuse cases. Heroin 19%, cocaine 18%, marijuana 14%. Receiving recent context, while data from the 2025 is limited on SNAP-specific substance abuse, national survey shows 16% of Americans aged 12 plus had a past year substance use disorder in 2024. No evidence to support how many of them are SNAP participants, though. What's this last one? Figures bolster arguments against testing SNAP participants. Yeah, not outliers. Okay. So, yeah, they actually, it looks like a couple of states dabbled in it. So, in Florida, from 2011 to 2012, they tested 4,000 SNAP, and only 2.6% actually tested for it.
But in Missouri.
Missouri, 293, and it was 13% positives.
Well, smaller sampling, but much higher number, obviously. And Missouri is pretty impoverished in comparison to Florida. I mean, bigger population in Florida, but
right. And then in Utah, it doesn't even tell you how many people were stated, but it was less than 1%.
They're Mormon.
So Florida some states spent over $490,000 in testing applicants. So it was really a net savings of zero.
Right.
They didn't find enough.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that could also go the other direction too, like the testing and enforcement, whatever it would save, and just giving people who are thwarting the system and using this. So,
and how are we choosing those that are tested? How are we testing them?
Yeah,
you know what
is
I mean?
It randomized?
Are we saying, hey, you need to come in for your drug test within the next week?
Oh, all of a sudden, like yeah.
Or are we showing up their house and forcing a drug test? Like,
Right.
I mean, I don't know what the guidelines of that rule. I could probably read more into it and find out. But either way, I mean, to the couple of those points of view, I just say that yes, it's frustrating. There's Section 8 housing here in Medina, and I remember this was probably 8-10 years ago. I remember a Dodge Challenger and a Cadillac Escalade being parked in a SNAP area parking. Every day I passed it for work.
Yeah.
So you think to yourself, like, what's going on? This goes back to a lot of the ways that our government controls us as a people. For those who that think we have absolute freedom, I would beg to differ.
No, we don't.
This goes back into how they control us, right? They use these benefits to control these families because without them, they can't survive. And what do they need to do in order to get those benefits? Well, in most cases, they have to be single women in poverty levels. They can't be earning X amount of income outside of their SNAP benefits, or they'll
lose them.
They'll lose them. So they're basically told you can't make too much, otherwise you're on your own, and you can't be married. You can't have a man living in the household for you, or we'll take them away because you'll be over an income level.
Same thing with their kids. There's things on TikTok where if their mother's kids are working and making a lot of money, she loses her snaps.
Well, if it's on TikTok, then it's true.
Well, TikTok, Instagram.
We're talking about the same thing. These are subsidies that are given for these circumstances.
And here it's hard for people because I mean I don't know how the rules. I've never been on financial assistance. I don't know how it works, but if all of a sudden next month you start making $6,000 versus 2,500, are you worried about losing your SNAP benefits? No, I think it's more so if SNAP benefits are limited to those who make under 2,500 and you get a raise to make 2,800, or they ask you to be full time and you're making 3,100. Now you have to look at those benefits that are associated with government response, which is housing, which is going to be way more than that $300 increase in your monthly pay. Your food, which $300 to $400 a month for a family of 3 goes a lot longer, a lot more now. So.
There's a balancing point, right? Yeah, you get a $500 a month raise, but that could cost you. That's $500. Tax is less than $500. Let's say in benefits you may be getting, which is 100% untaxed.
Right. So I'm not compassionate. Like, I understand that there's benefits to these programs. They help people succeed. They help people hopefully grow and get out of those programs. The problem is they're government-reliant programs. So you have one party who wants people to start raise up and creating their own opportunities, and they're not against support, but they are asking you to do certain things to get that support. Then you have the other side who's like, No, we want you to live in this basic welfare state for the rest of your life. We don't want you to have an opportunity to succeed. And we've created a government where it's either this or it's that, and there's nothing in between. We're literally the pick a side has eliminated creativity when it comes to solutions for our problems. For instance, hey, are there areas? I mean, let's just look at Ohio, Vermilion, for instance. That's an area that's run down and shit after the Ford plant closed down, right?
Yeah.
So is there an opportunity to where we could create some kind of business out there where we could slowly start offering people that are on SNAP the opportunity to rebuild a community? And like, there's other opportunities where we could be spending billions that could actually be building something up rather than spending billions to create these poverty-stricken, essentially ghettos throughout the country that there's never room for economic development. And if there does become an instance of economic development, those people are just going to get forced out. Yep. You know, Bronson Street in Medina. Now you've got the common grounds that is built up on that south side or west side. You've got
west side.
What's the go-kart place?
High voltage carts.
Yeah, so you've got that place with the big bar and game center there. And then in between that, you have Bronson Street, which is a troubled street in Medina. And then you've got, you know, the school and the square and everything else kind of centered. So you have the spot in the middle. How long do you think it's going to be before those houses start getting bought up by investors in real estate,
right?
Stripped down, built up into better and beautiful looking colonials? Where are those people going to go now?
Right.
You know what I mean? So ultimately we're creating this, like, we're just giving up control and we don't realize it. We're fighting each other versus helping each other take back the power, which is ours. You know, I posted a little video the other day. It was like, hey, who wants to give the government more control? And it was like a bunch of random Americans just raising their hands, because ultimately that's what we do every time we get into a fight.
So to kind of segue this into the other aspects of the entire argument that's going on around this topic, two other posts, and I'll kind of lay them both out here. And I think they're both interesting in their own way, and they both kind of weave back into the same topic. But, you know, so this was a little snarky on my behalf, where I posted government shutdown 2025 for dummies. Remember those books?
Yeah.
The For Dummies books. Like, and I just, so the same things we were just talking about here in what's needed in the Senate to get something done. And then I also just kind of talked about, you know, okay, so the senators, the Democrat senators are refusing to pass this CR, the same one that has passed 13 previous times, and they're using this filibuster to force the Republicans back in and negotiate, and all of those things there. And then, so this turned into some other comments about healthcare, and then which I think is a really big misnomer here. And I hope that I can open up some minds with this one here. But I actually had somebody post on this comment to say, and this is what's really interesting about this, is this person I know pretty well. This person is in med school right now, and this person has kind of openly talked about how hard that's been. And this person comes from pretty super humble beginnings. But I've also heard this person openly talk about the excitement of going into a field where they're very quickly going to make $500,000 a year. Bless you, both of you guys.
Thank you.
But this person said, is socialism really that bad? I don't have kids, but I still pay taxes that support the schools in my neighborhood because I care about my community. That's what being a good person is all about. If we valued that kind of collective care more, maybe we'd all have stronger families and a better society overall. So it sounds like a nice message. I kind of pointed out that, like, okay, so what about when you finish med school, if you just take a $68,000 salary for forever, actually, and then any excess you can then, you know, fund all of these programs over here. How about that? How'd that be?
Right.
And what do you think the response was?
Well, no, of course not.
Why?
I worked for that money.
Right. Yeah.
It's greed.
So it's ironic that this same person who says, "Oh no, these programs are absolutely necessary for all these people," but it's when it's monopoly money. See, the ironic thing about that, it's what you just said. Like, You know, this is the slavery system. And I don't want to go completely bonkers on this, but like our entire system is, if you really kind of think about it, like, yeah, there's nobody beating us, but it's not optional to pay taxes. You have to pay your taxes. And we don't really get a say in how they're going to spend the money.
Just ask the situation. At Jersey Shore? No, nobody.
No.
Gotta pay your taxes, even if you're a TV star.
Oh, yeah. Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
He knew too. Yeah, they locked him up for it. But anyway, so
unless you're Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden gets a pass.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker can party. I will definitely say that of all the president's sons out there, he's definitely the one I want to go to Vegas with.
Definitely the one to go to Vegas with. Not the one I'd want to spend more than like an hour with.
I'd probably want to punch him in the face after a little while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
definitely. But
I want to hang out with Barron Trump. I mean, not now because I'm 43. He's 18 and be a little fucking weird.
Strange,
but like being a high school kid, like fresh out of high school, hang out with Barron Trump. That dude just seems like he knows what's up.
I would like to hang out with Kai Trump.
Wait, we should edit that out. Isn't she like 15?
I don't think so. I think she's an adult. Find out real quick, Evan. Hold on. I might.
Why do I have to look up the underager here?
Maybe we better fact check. I'm pretty certain.
18 years old.
Matrix style
bro,
bullet.
4 fucking months.
That's what okay, just making sure.
All right. Still a little bit weird.
But okay.
We'll let it slide.
I was like, I was pretty certain.
I was a little nervous. I didn't think you were gonna. I don't think you were gonna be covered at that point.
Yeah, almost got me on that. Jeez. Tell me again how we don't go for shock content. Oh, but if it's our own, fuck, we'll definitely covet thy own if it's us at this table. Okay,
but you started to touch on something, a slavery system. I mean, it is a slavery system when you're controlled, and maybe in the sense of like you don't have a chain around your neck, you're not getting whipped for coming home later, etc. But when you say that, how, like we just went through a whole scenario of how you're trapped into a specific, what's the word I'm looking for?
Demographic?
Yeah, you're to a specific demographic or poverty level or income level. Like when that's controlled by somebody else, it's an issue.
Well, so this we're going to go in the weeds for a minute here, which I'm perfectly fine with here. But like, so there's the societal argument of equal opportunity versus equal outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Socialism is about equal outcome.
Yes.
It's 100%. Right. It's equal outcome. So the programs, the government systems of the world that are for equal outcome are fascism, socialism / communism, meaning that fascism in particular is country first, everything for the country, no matter what, even if it's your life, all of it, right? So in these systems, and by the way, when I was just talking about healthcare and all of those things, in socialist countries, let me just poll the audience that's right in front of me here. What do you think the average physician gets paid, let's say 5 years into the job here in the U.S.?
Physician, like a doctor's physician?
Yeah, an actual like MD physician. What do you believe the average salary is?
I'd say 350,000.
Yeah. Did you just Google it, Evan?
No,
I
have friends that are becoming doctors, are anesthesiologists, and
that's not a doctor.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that. Well, I know a bunch of people in medical fields, and they always throw out their numbers.
So
I would have just estimated 300,000.
So I think it's 268,000
for like 5 years into the practice.
Just put average salary of physician in there, and let's see what we get. But it's under 300. I want to say it's
estimates are between 374 to 414,000. Other ones like lower averages 229,000 from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
That's probably for recent grad
range 149 to 216 depending on the reporting site. So I mean they could be all over. Medscape and Weatherby Healthcare say $374,000.
All right, quick side question here, Evan. Do you pay for your own health insurance?
Yes.
What does it cost you?
$25 a month.
How much?
Wait, what?
$25 a week.
$25 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And so your employer picks up, it's through your work.
Yeah, it's through the union.
Through the union. So $100 a month, roughly.
Yes.
All right. So
and it's not,
single man, no kids, diabetic.
Correct.
This is, okay, so now what does your insulin cost you average?
With the insurance or without the insurance?
With the insurance.
With the insurance, about $125 a month.
Okay. So for
so
you,
what did you say? What did you mean when you said with the other insurance?
Because my old insurance, because when I was non-union, when I was picked up by the company, the company paid for my insurance. I didn't have to put a payment down.
So you didn't have to pay anything for insurance then?
But it had a high deductible.
Right.
A really high deductible.
Got it.
It was about $6,000 a year.
Oh, so they gave you a shitty insurance as the
well,
benefit, and now you get a better insurance.
So when you were paying that, what were you paying in insulin on a
Insulin a month was like $1,500 a month.
Yeah. But you didn't have any insurance payment.
No, I didn't have any insurance payment.
But $1,500 a month, now that's just for the cost for your prescription.
$1,500 a year or a month?
A month.
And that's
until I hit my deductible.
Oh, and then, then what was it?
Then it was 80-20. And then after another $2,000, 90-10, and then after $1,000, 100% they'll cover it.
So basically, after you spent $10,000 in
a year,
yeah,
I would have to literally.
So it basically worked it out to where you were just under 10,000 a year. So you probably didn't get any free insulin.
No, I didn't.
Unless you went on a weekend binge trip and just ate fucking
pancakes,
pancakes all fucking day,
fucking donuts and shit, and candy bars.
So luckily, you don't go on vacation with us. Like 52 weeks out of the year.
I do go on vacation with you guys.
Not 52 weeks out of the year.
No.
But what does your insurance cost you, Will?
Honestly, I believe for me and my wife, it is. It's been a minute since I looked, but I think it's $189 every 2 weeks, roughly. Now that'll change though when I have a child.
Yes,
right.
Will.
Yeah.
Family insurance. I know it at least doubles. It might be more. It might be $1,000 a month.
So,
but does that cover everything? So you don't have to go to doctors. It's all paid for.
No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah. So essentially, my local doctors, or your in-house like family doctor or whatever, is typically $25. When I had to have those foot surgeries or those foot issues, where I was going to the foot doctor every 2 weeks, that's $50 every visit. I think my deductible it's not that bad. I think it's like $4,000 or $6,000 is my deductible, and then it's 100% for in-network.
So basically, if you end up in an ER with something major, like you're going to have that deductible, and then
right, and then
after that, you're going to
so
be covered.
It's much better insurance than I've had in the past.
Yeah,
and I paid more for worse insurance.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Like I've had insurance where you didn't have a copay. When you went to the doctor's office, you would get billed like $100 out of a $300 bill or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Et cetera. So I've had the worst, and then I've had the best, where like a prescription would cost me no more than like $5. I don't care what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now from an employer standpoint, so operating multiple dealerships, as a GM, I did see guys that the struggle was a $30,000 to $40,000 a year employee who has to have family insurance. And in some cases, remember, it all depends on what the employer is going to pay. So everybody thinks of health insurance as like just what you're paying as the employee who's got to buy insurance to your company.
Yeah, it's whether your employer is contributing.
Your employer's contributing something almost in every case.
Yeah.
And they might even be required to. I don't know if they're required to, or if it's part of the benefits of working for that company, right? Is their insurance package. But I haven't seen it where we would be taking on the cost of $1,000 for a family employee, and they were still paying like $1,500 or $1,600 a month.
And that person's probably on SNAP or something because
$40,000. Well, no, they couldn't be on SNAP because they're making $40,000 or $35,000. But anybody that's out there listening, if you make $40,000 in today's day and age, and you bring home 26 after
and you
taxes,
have one kid, let alone a couple, like
you
you're
bring
done.
home 26 after taxes, and then
You're
you spend another 13 on fucking insurance, and you're broke.
Yeah, you're sunk.
You can't get out of that, and you can't get benefits. So those are the people that are really, really screwed when it comes to these to healthcare or health insurance.
So,
and then let's be honest. I mean, like I said, I recently had a foot issue from volleyball this summer, but typically I don't go to the doctor more than a routine checkup once a year.
Yeah.
For probably 30 years.
Yeah.
And on average, I've spent, I don't know, anywhere from $1,200 to $2,200 on insurance for the course of my entire life since I've been out of the military.
So, I've been
knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. So I'm the same. I have to have something major to go to any doctor out there. Like it's got to be something major,
like a third testicle.
Like a third testicle.
Yeah,
I would
wake up to that. That's a problem.
I'd probably try and solve it in the garage first, depending on how that goes. Yes, depending on how that goes, then it's probably then really got to get to the doctor. No, but so as
make it worse before you make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to make sure I gotta I have a different deductible system than you guys do.
Jesus.
No, but so once upon a time ago, before Obamacare, and I'm just going to call it that. I know people are trying to, put a clever, change the name. Like, no, it's the Affordable Care Act. No, it's fucking Obamacare. It's the same thing that Hillary Clinton tried to, get through when Billy was in office, and it didn't go. I really feel
America
that
was a better place back then.
I really feel that healthcare, like this hypothetical slavery system that I'm talking about, like this is really has turned into a tax. And so I'll take you guys back on this just a little bit. Something didn't change healthcare for me wise. Like I'm still, knock on wood, I'm a pretty healthy guy. I've always been that way. It really has to be something wrong with me to go to the doctor. I've always carried health insurance because of just the unknown. Like, I was a skier, like all grown up, that was my sport. And it's definitely, you can snap your leg, your neck or whatever. Just all the different things that I did. Like I always wanted to have health insurance. Well, rewinding back to the late 90s, which would be when I had to start paying for my own, my employer paid for a big chunk, but yeah, it was pretty similar to what you're paying, like the insurance you have, Evan. Like you're, I know you do a little complaining about your employer, but that's a pretty good insurance because most employer sponsored health plans for a single individual are between $200 and $600 per month. That's the range. $600 would be a really comprehensive package. $200 would be, an average cost of, that's more than what you're paying. You're paying under that. So you're doing pretty well for what you get. That was before those rates were similar. So mine, I can remember the very first time I signed up for having to pay for insurance paid for through the county. It was $18 a paycheck. And then a few years later, it went up to $34 a paycheck, and we were paid every other week. So let's say 2 paychecks a month. That was our contribution to it. So it was pretty minimal. Doctor visits were covered and everything. And then I think an ER visit, you had like a $500 deductible. So it was also a really good insurance.
Yeah.
The very moment that Obamacare passed and went into law, my health insurance went up to, it was $880 per month. Instantly like that. So it went up from, because at that point I think it went up to like about $40 a paycheck or so. And so now it went up to $404. They were trying to do this thing where they were trying to change our paydays from every other week to twice a month.
Right.
To try and, I'm sorry, I just did that backwards. We were paid twice a month. They took us to every other week because they were trying to reduce like the impact of the insurance.
Yeah, because now
now
an
it's
extra couple weeks.
26 payments instead of 24 payments.
Right.
It's like, oh, we've got this thing. We're going to do this. We're going to offset this, that. At the end of the fucking day, literally my cost of insurance nearly quadrupled. Never broken a bone. By the way, guys, I mean, other than a finger or a toe, I've never broken a bone. I've never been hospitalized for anything like ever. Like never had any surgeries other than I had a fucking ingrown toenail one time. Like I've never had anything like that. So for a guy who's perfectly healthy, no smoking, no cancers, no drugs, a lot of Jägermeister, but whatever. They don't know that. But no, for all of these things, like immediately went up to, that. And then so what also happened during that time, because then people were like, well, fuck, with this amount of money, I'll self-insure. I'll just put that money in the bank then. And then when things go wrong, you know, I can invest that, I can do different things. But oh no, because they had the individual mandate. So what would happen if you didn't have health insurance? You would pay I want to say it was $3,800, somewhere around there. There was an individual and a family penalty in your taxes. Like you would pay a tax penalty if you had no insurance.
Right.
The other thing that happened before all of this was, we'd have to look this up, but they passed the law. It's got a clever acronym, and it'll come to me, or we can just look it up.
Really quick, I'm going to look this up for a second, but I wanted to share this bit of information because I thought it was imperative. So
go for it.
Right now, and this was actually higher than I thought. So employers typically pick up, as is 2024, 84% of your actual insurance premium.
How much was it?
84%. So, for instance, in 2024, average annual premium for a single individual was $89.51. Employee's responsibility was about $13.68, which adds up to what Evan said and what I said. Really close.
Yeah.
Just over $100 a month. And then employer's share was $75.83. So, take that and add that to your salary, and essentially that's what you're actually costing your employer. And then for family benefits, total annual premium $25,572. Employee share $62.96. So just over $500 a month.
$2,000 a month for that premium.
Right. Employer share $19,276. So if we ever have the conversation on this show about do employers prefer to hire single versus married employees, this would absolutely be a statistic that I would use to justify that as an employer. I'd be like, man, why are we hiring? Let's hire women that don't want to have kids.
You ever notice how like it's okay not to be married in the world out there now? Because most marriages end in divorce, and it's okay. So okay, before
right, so what was the law that you were asking about?
I found it. So this was before Obamacare, and this is one of these things. So I'll give a quick shout out to Jimmy Dore. If you guys don't follow him, he's pretty amazing, and he did a whole episode on this a while back that put me down a rabbit hole. This was probably like 2 years ago, but this law that they passed was called the EMTALA, EMTALA. It's the Emergency Medical Treatment in Active Labor Act. And they passed, I'll have to go back and see what year they passed that. I had it in my notes, but it's buried. But anyway, so they passed this law, and this basically requires a hospital to treat every person who walks in through the door.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether they were born here or on fucking Mars. They're required to treat people. If you go back, and we're not going to do this today, and everybody out there could go do their own research, but if you go out there and you look at the amount of hospitals that closed in between the time that they were passing this law all the way through Obamacare, it's staggering. Like the amount of hospital beds that evaporated here, like it's there today are less than half the hospital beds available than what were available. It might even be down to a third, but it's a massive number. And now think about that. The population of the world is getting bigger. The population of our country is getting bigger because people are still having kids, and we're also allowing people in. So this is simple economics here. When you have less of something, it becomes what? More costly, more valuable, right? So you have this system where it's placed appropriately. If somebody shows up to a hospital, they should be treated.
Sure.
But you have to also think about this, is that people think of hospitals and they think about this government money as fucking monopoly money. This is not monopoly money. Like the same people that were commenting on my post are like, no, these people should be able to have this and they should be able to do this. It's like, I'm not arguing for people's right to choose whether or not they want to use marijuana. I'm not going to argue about that. It's recreationally legal in 27 states out there. Like it's no longer even a discussion. Go enjoy. My problem is that don't come to me to borrow money from me so that you can buy milk because you spent all your money on weed. Like that's nonsensical. You're not going to get my money voluntarily. Like that's
Right.
So in the same token, a hospital is not outside of the VA hospital. The hospital, just your, Cleveland Clinic, your Summa, these whatever hospitals out in California, Kaiser, these are private businesses.
Right.
With private employees, with CEOs, with, board members and real estate cost and electricity cost and insurance costs. Like these are businesses out there. And so these business owners of this very necessary business out there realize, shit, we're now required. So that all the hospitals that closed first were all in all the border towns. Like those are the first ones.
Yeah, because they're not getting paid.
They know they're not going to get. And before that, hospitals were having difficulty because they would treat people just because, well, we're humans. Let's help them.
Right.
And then, they would just disappear and not pay their medical bills. Well, now they're required, they're forced to. Like, I can't turn these people away and say no. Like I have to treat them, and I'm going to send them a bill whether they pay for it or not. So yeah, they closed, they started closing all the smaller and rural. I mean, just driving around Northeast Ohio, I mean, I can think of 20 hospitals that are within, 20 to 30 minute drive of us that are closed now. Like and a lot of them, they've taken the buildings down altogether. So they're never going to reopen. They're gone. Right. So you pass a law that you can't turn anybody away, whether they can pay or not, especially the ones who can't pay. You're not turning them away. You have to treat them. So the owners say, okay, I'll just close that door because that one gets, half the people in there can't pay.
Right.
So these doctors that come out of school that are making $200,000-$400,000, they're not going to say, oh, well, I'll just give back some of my salary then to pay these guys medical bills. They're not going to do that.
No pro bono?
No pro boners. No pro boners over there for those guys. And then now you have Obamacare that comes along and then says that, oh, no, you are going to have insurance. And if you don't,
we'll give it to you.
We're going to give it to you on top of that. So, and it's all under this, let's all get along. Let's take care of the people less fortunate. But nobody's paying attention to, all right, fewer hospital beds and more billionaires that own hospitals. Like people aren't paying attention to those billionaires for whatever reason. That's just out of the conversation,
right?
To talk about, them.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I never really paid much. I know Obamacare definitely screwed me because I do remember my insurance rates going up, but I never really paid a whole lot of attention to why. And it's just now you look at it as an older person and with AI. Being beneficial to kind of like break down something rather than read 500 pages. As you can see, like when people think that bipartisan is a good thing, it's not most times, right?
Meaning when both political parties agree on a thing.
Correct.
That this is,
yeah, because this is exactly what you get. Now there's some benefits to Obamacare, right? And I don't remember, I mean, let's be honest, 16 years ago I was 23, 24 years old. Like the last thing I was thinking about was healthcare.
Right. Yeah.
I had insurance because it was offered to me and I just, whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily think of like what it gets. So let's go over some basic numbers. So in 2009, pre the ACA, average worker paid $3,500 a year. Average employer paid $98.60 per year. This is for family. Now we talked about it a minute ago. Average workers paying $62.96, so nearly double. Average employees paying $19,276, so a 91% increase in 2009.
Yep.
That money's coming from somewhere, people. So when you ask your boss for a raise and he says no, I just gave you a $20,000 a year raise, or a $10,000 a year raise in this case. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, I got to pay $3,000 more in health insurance. And it's like, yeah,
your employer.
Way to fucking vote for Obama.
Yeah.
Then it talks about so let's talk about some of the benefits though. Because there are some benefits to the ACA, and this is where we go into when we think that it's a good thing that the government controls something rather than free market. So what does free market look like? Free market looks like you allowing every insurance company to operate in every single state rather than specific insurance companies in some versus the other. And you allow them to compete in a competitive market where they strive to drive a book of business based off of risk, which is what insurance should be based off of. So there's 3 of us sitting right here at the table, myself at 43 years old, relatively healthy, work out 5 to 6 days a week, still capable of running a mile, eat mostly healthy. Then we have my friend Evan, who's diabetic and eats 2 breakfasts with pancakes 3 or 4 times a week. Great guy. I smoked. He didn't smoke. David, a little bit older. We all have different risks as far as health associated, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it used to be in a free market where if an insurance company wanted to, I was more insurable than, say, Evan. Now, the downside of that is like, okay, well, Evan needs insurance, but at the same point in time, like, we don't do this with life insurance. We still allow life insurance to be a free market where, you know, there's, if you get cancer today and it's stage 4, you're not going to get a $2 million policy for $23 a month tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
And so the benefits of this were things like kids to age 26 can be on their parents' policy. I can see that as a benefit because most kids don't even understand insurance at 23, 24, 25.
Right.
Unless maybe they're having some, right? There was no annual or lifetime limits. I guess this is something once I wouldn't have known, but there used to be $1 million cap on insurance. So if you were somebody that went through cancer treatments and things like that, you could easily approach that number. 80 to 20 medical loss ratio. Insurances must spend 80 to 85% of every premium dollar on the market. Forced richer plans, apparently. I need to do a little bit more research on that aspect, but whatever the case might be. Can't be dropped or charged more for diabetes. So there's different benefits that are out there to help. But when you control it all from a socialistic point of view, then you have to make adjustments to one side or the other, right?
So that's exactly where I'm leading into on the next point in all of this is that this is like riding a jet ski, right? So, you know, jet ski is a pretty simple craft. You know, you get the gas, you got left and right, and that's it, right? But so, you know, if you're at full throttle on the jet ski and you're going along and you want to turn left at full throttle, you know that's a gradual turn to turn left, right? Because if you make that left turn, then you're off and it's painful, right? And so that's, I think, the issue here is that this is not as simple as throwing a switch because everybody's going to get ejected off the fucking jet ski here by changing this. So, but to the socialistic point, so I'll go extreme for a moment here. Any guesses? When I say extreme, let's go to Russia. Okay, it's the most. I mean, and we'll go to China in a minute here, but let's just go to Russia for a minute. Any guesses as to the average salary for a physician in Russia? By the way, in Russia, free healthcare,
for everybody.
Everybody,
$65 a day.
You say $65 a day for a physician, not a trash collector.
Probably about maybe $5,000, maybe.
Oh God,
we're just taking
$1,000 bucks.
$100,000 a year.
Again, so 100% covered from birth to death.
Yeah,
even being put in a box and put in the ground is covered under the healthcare system. There, 100% covered. Nothing for prescription pills. Nothing.
Yeah,
it's $37,000 per year for a physician in Russia.
Wow, we have a lot of Russian doctors in America.
China, it's a bit more in China. China, it's $107,000. $107,000 a year. Okay, so let's go a little less extreme. The one that people like to use the most are the UK and Canada. So these are not socialist countries, but they are 100% socialized medicine, particularly the UK. The top doctors in UK, they cap out at like 180 grand a year ish. Now, if they are an elective surgery type physician, like, you know, because they do boob jobs and shit like that and nose jobs, plastic surgery.
Sure.
If they're in a private practice, that would be a complete exception. But if they're working within, and by the way, the hospitals in these places are also government owned, government run. Everyone is an employee of the government in these places. And so if you're in the UK, approximately 170, 180,000 will be your max income ever. You will not make any more than that. And it's the same thing in the UK. All of your health care is covered. And then they have all sorts of additional benefits. And a lot of European countries have this. Not only health care is covered, you start having kids, they're covered. Baby bonding is covered. So like, I want to say in France, I think you can take up to 6 months paid leave. And on top of that, you also get, you get like childcare, and you get all sorts of things that are sponsored inside this. Now, these countries, you're paying 50 and 60%. 60 is probably a little high. That would be like Denmark. Some of Scandinavia has got like high 50s, 60%, but UK, Canada, these are 48, 49, 51% income. So what I'm getting at here is that Obamacare is a fantastic program if there's some sort of also governmental control on the cost on the other side over here, because we have doctors here that are just working. I mean, you go look at what a physician that works, here at, Medina Hospital, there's doctors in that building that make $1 million a year.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Anybody know what just happened last night?
The shooting?
Nope.
Oh, the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yeah. Dodgers won the World Series.
Yeah.
Highest payroll in all of baseball by a landmark. Right. In baseball, no salary cap.
Right.
Everybody's welcome. It's a free market. You can spend as much and as little as you want. But the Dodgers live in a market that allows them to spend a lot more. And then you have the Guardians here in Cleveland who live on a market that could spend a lot less. So what you're talking about is, if you're going to control one aspect, then you can't just allow no controllables on the other aspect.
Right.
But you can't then, in a free market, eliminate the capitalistic aspect of a doctor trying to get more money, or, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Obamacare could be a great idea. Unfortunately, it requires you to create additional government controls in order to make it a good program.
So imagine, same analogy, okay, we have different leagues of baseball. So understandably so, the cost to go see the Dodgers play in LA, those tickets are going to be priced differently than even seeing the Guardians over here. But now imagine you go to the Rubber Ducks game and they say, well, since the Dodgers won the World Series and they can now sell nosebleeds for $150, you're now going to pay that price to see the Rubber Ducks. Then you're going to say, well, fuck the Ducks.
Right.
Why would I want to watch them? I'll go to the Dodgers game. I'll go somewhere else. Well, I'm sorry, you don't have that option. Now I'm going to require you to watch the Ducks and pay $150. That's where we are in this healthcare system. So that's why I say we've landed enslaved by this, or unfairly taxed, in that, everyone should be entitled to healthcare. Absolutely. Everyone should be entitled to smoke weed if they want to smoke weed, but I'm not going to pay for it. Now I have to pay for other people's. This is how I'm paying for other people's healthcare. Is that, so we're in that moment of the jet ski made that sharp turn and we're being ejected off, and we're, about to hit very painfully, unfortunately.
Well, it just, like I said, this just goes to say what happens when you give the government ability to control the people. And we have done that more so than a country like China, because in China, they didn't have a choice. Here, we had a choice. We basically asked the government to help us. And by asking them to help us, we gave them more and more control over time. Health insurance as a whole would have been more beneficial in a completely free market.
I agree. Not this.
Right. Because once again, if you don't control the health insurance side of things, the agencies that are selling the insurance, who are also the same ones that are owning the pharmacy management systems.
Right.
And telling you what they're going to essentially pay and what's going to be your responsibility and how much a medicine is going to sell for, et cetera, so that they could drive up their rates and premiums because you're a client, so high risk. Well, it doesn't work that way. It's not beneficial to us. So if I wanted to opt out of insurance, for instance, you can just not get my money. And if I can it's no different than anything else. You want to talk about power of the people? If we all agreed tomorrow that unless they pass this bill, 100% of Americans were going to claim tax exempt on their federal tax income tomorrow until they fucking watch them move. Watch them move to get something approved, but that's your tax income. Because what are they going to do? Arrest 300 million people? No, of course not.
Yeah.
You know, so it's time, like you talk about, you know, the Tea Party or, you know, the Boston Tea Party. And like we as the citizens of this country have the ability to take power. We just have to unite instead of divide.
Yeah.
Like essentially, hey guys, instead of having national no tax on fucking going to spend a lot of money on school close day, why don't we just all have, hey, in the month of November, we're all going to claim tax exempt and see what happens.
To this, I would say to everybody online or in person who have like ended friendships over like, oh, you voted for so-and-so and I voted for, you're one of those, you're a Trumper, you're this, you're that. The politicians are laughing because that's the key to avoiding us from doing, you know, peacefully just, exempting or refusing to work or refusing to do whatever, or everybody go and withdraw your money out of the bank. Like there's a bazillion different things people can do that can make bigger moves and make bigger things happen here. But they won't do that because we're too busy. We're too busy with, you know, I'm on this side, you're on this side. Like, you know, well, you know, I'm sympathetic to, you know, the LGBTQ ABCDFU group over here, or, you know, I'm, you know, over here with, you know, these wackos. Like the Amish are probably fucking laughing at us too.
100%. They got their own, they're like their own country inside of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hear that, folks. If you wake up, tomorrow's November 3rd, election day locally is November 4th, so Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up tomorrow, go to your employer and say, you know what, I want to change my tax to tax exempt for federal. And let's see what happens when the government gets no fucking money in November from its citizens. Together we can create change.
Is that Obama?
I don't know.
I think he said, "I'll have a glass of water." So here's if we didn't already put everybody to sleep with healthcare, then I maybe I should have said this first, but I was listening this last week, and when you're a politics nerd, you get kind of caught up listening to everybody and every word, and then just kind of, you know, sifting through everything. And so the Dems are all in lockstep. Hakeem, Chuck, all of them. Every time, well, it's the Republicans. They've shut us down. They have control. They have this. They have that. And then they go into this rant that they're very well rehearsed on it. And I was eating some eggs or whatever and just heard this, but so I'm listening to Chuck Schumer in particular, and he keeps talking about this is all about, you know, them, and we have to we have to preserve the ACA because we have all of these people out there that are going to lose their health care.
Right.
This is the difference of them using the word health care. So they're saying 40 million Americans out there are currently getting these benefits, and they're going to lose their health care. It's the same thing that they were saying during the election when they were talking about making the abortion argument. It is their right to have access to health care. And this is why it sort of set an alarm off in my head when I heard them in this speech. It's like, well, shit, they dusted off that same thing. And so then I just kept kind of going back into it, and I just started thumbing around listening to all of them, and they're all saying the same thing. And I realized, like, well, shit, I mean, this is like, you know, asking for a Kleenex instead of asking for a tissue here. Like they're swapping these terms around because of the emotional reaction out of that, because nobody has a government provided health care. They don't have a government, we don't have a right to health care. Like, yeah, they passed this law that requires hospitals to treat us if we show up, regardless of who we are or what we have. But we don't have a right to health care, and we don't even have government subsidized health care. Like, health care is the act of you actually going to the hospital and getting treated for something, or getting a medicine, or getting a a pill for something, a Band-Aid, whatever, like that. It's care. It's an act. It's not something that you put in a box and hand to somebody, or something that, you're getting. It's a service. But what they're arguing really about is the health insurance costs, right? And that's what we just spent all this time talking about, is what this is it's this insurance and this regulation. And then, as we had the individual mandate before, it was the requirement to have all of these things. And so, they're saying things, and this also led into a good post that got some really good conversation here. I said, and I'm listening to Chuck Schumer sound bites, and I'm looking to correct their terms with health insurance. And if anytime you're listening to any of these political debates, if you go back and you just replace those words, it makes so much more sense when you look at this. They're saying families are going to pay another $1,700 per year for health care. It's not true. It's absolutely not true.
No, they're going to pay for health insurance.
They're going to pay for health insurance. And so that's where people are thinking, like, well, wait a minute. That means that the whole cost of all of it goes up. Well, if you never go to the fucking doctor, then maybe, you're going to look at, so they're not looking at this as like, why are they allowing these costs to keep going up and up and up without, having any sort of regulation on that? And I think, you're not necessarily going to say, Mr. Miss Hospital, you can't charge this much for a Band-Aid, but you can certainly go back and change the system. I mean, and it's ironic, like I said in that other argument, where I have somebody who's literally in med school about ready to go in and make $500,000 a year. They don't want to, no, that's my money. Like, I got student loans I have to pay. I've got this, I've got all that. Like, okay, well, yeah.
Well, and let's be real too, for those 40 million people that are going to be affected, it's not me.
It's not me either.
And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. It's not many of you guys. Like, for instance, if you're Evan, you're going to work on a day-to-day basis, you buy your insurance through your employee. You're not part of that subsidy point. The subsidy is the marketplace purchasers. So, I mean, I understand that affects mostly low-income families, which, once again, the government's already got their hand on their neck or their boot on their throat. So they're going to feel it. You're the easiest ones to scare. And you're typically in their Democratic Party wings. For instance, you're in New York City, you're in Chicago, you're in high poverty areas outside that, in those vicinities. And now you're at a position of, it's just one more thing that they claim they're fighting for you, but ultimately they're just fighting for control of you. So
maybe if they, took those lower income people and got them off the alcohol, got them off the cigarettes, got them off the recreational marijuana,
got them looking for opportunity rather than telling them they have to stay home and get divorced and start to be single.
Well, in Japan, there's their employers, there's a fat tax for employers. So if employees don't come out with, if a company's employees are fat, overweight, unhealthy, the employer gets taxed by the government, called a fat tax, and the employers force their employees to go to the gym, eat healthier.
Yeah, if you want to drive results, instead of calling it Obamacare, Trump should call it freaking health care, like healthy health care, and just be like, hey, listen, if you can run a mile, or you could do this, or you can, like, you fall under these standards, if you're not considered obese, if you're managing your body and being healthy, then you should get like a 90% discount on your health insurance, and that could be varied by a standard test that could be given to everybody. That's a fair test.
All they do
on your overall health, just like a military PT test or something of that nature. And then you could drive a free market, and then people would have a say in their insurance. Oh, my insurance is really high. I'm 100 pounds overweight. You know what? By next year open enrollment, I'm going to drop 75 pounds, and I'm going to save myself 50%. I'm going to buy better food. And now all of a sudden you can make decisions to impact the result rather than allowing the results to impact you.
This is what RFKJ is supposed to be doing right now. I don't think they've had an easy road, but I couldn't.
He's been quiet.
Yeah,
quieter than I thought he was going to be.
He had something in the news cycle this last week, but I think that anything he's doing is just right now overshadowed by 2018 during the shutdown. The biggest thing had to do with the funding of the wall. Sure. That was the biggest thing, and it's like you'll
never guess who did not want the funding of the wall, therefore held it over the other party's head.
What, the Dems?
I didn't say that out loud.
Oh, you said the loud part out quiet?
We're gonna have to wrap this up soon.
I know. We're having so much fun. I know.
I just looked at the clock and I think I heard the basement door open, which means the wife was like, "What the fuck? You guys are still talking down there?" So
yeah,
I just looked at the time. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, 5:30 ended up to be 7.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a late start, but really, if you think about it, it's only. Oh no, wait! It would be 10 o'clock right now. Instead, it's 9 o'clock. Right? Do I have it backwards? No, it's 8 o'clock.
It would be 10 o'clock. No, it would be 10. We came back.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's how we got an extra.
I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, like ready to go, and I was like, "Why am I awake right now?"
What's this bullshit extra hour of sleep we were supposed to get?
Because, well, if you were a smart person that went to bed at like midnight,
that was not us last night.
No, not us at all.
That was
no. But if you went to bed,
2:30.
Yeah, if you went to bed at midnight, then it was actually 11. Like, because then at 1 o'clock it would have went back to midnight, so you had an extra hour of sleep. But most people didn't take advantage of that. I don't remember what time I went to bed, but I know that I was up at 7, and then I kind of fell back asleep till 8, and then we got breakfast. So
I think, I was, I had a couple extra old fashions throughout the evening that just. But anyway, well, hopefully we didn't put everybody to sleep out there. The healthcare thing, we need a bigger solution to this, and I don't think that either party is really all that interested in coming up with a solution, because there's so much money in that system that funds all sides of it, and you can't just eliminate one side without having the other side get, covered in terms of cost of the insurance versus the care.
Well, because once again, the insurance companies and the pharmacies and the pharmacy managers are all in bed with each other, or part of the same company.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you want to tell them at any point? Do you want to tell any of them they're going to make less money?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, because those are the people that are funding your politicians' campaign.
That's the
who was it that RFK stuck it out there that, like, of course you don't want anything to do with food or whatever, because Pfizer funded like 80% of your campaign. I think it was a Republican on top of that. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You know what, dude from Texas,
Cruz.
Yeah,
was that Cruz?
I think it was Cruz. I'm 99% sure it was Cruz, because then Dave Smith had him on and then called him out on it.
Okay.
Or maybe that was the Israel. That might have been That was the Israel one. It might have been somebody else that was. Either way, the guys are all in bed with each other. You want to know why we're fucking fighting for Israel so much? Because half your politicians are getting paid by Israeli PACs. You want to know why that we're so worried about healthcare and it's so politicized? Because half of them are in bed with these different agencies that are out there, and these different companies that are just creating drugs left and right in order to get you to pay for them. I mean, if you look at it, dude, that's a whole conversation, is the pharmacy ad side of things. 80% of your TV ad revenue comes from pharmaceutical drugs. There's a new drug that comes out every week. They make a happy dance and song about it and fucking put it all over TV, so that the first time you get a headache or you wake up and fucking you're sweating in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, I need that drug that I saw on TV.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that, once again, you want to get some money back in your pockets, we need to get it from them.
Yeah. Obviously the U.S., we've been the biggest innovators in everything out there. Medicine. I mean, we put a man on the moon. We'll put a man on the sun one day, maybe. We're going to put a man on Mars. Like, to your
Drop
point.
Him off. Yes, he did incinerate.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back.
The sun is hot.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, a free market system that definitely frees up the highest potential of innovation and success and all of that stuff. So it's really hard to argue with that, because when you start applying these socialistic ideas to that, it doesn't help that. It doesn't grow that. And I think right now we've seen that we tried to apply this socialized medicine thing, and all it did is just make it more expensive for everyone, except for a certain percentage of people that are getting it for free now. And if you think about it in this regard, then so who did that benefit? It didn't benefit the migrants who came in, and we were kind of touched a little bit on that, but like, so let's say of all the numbers, let's say 10 million migrants are getting free health care, and it's covered under this, and it's important for them to continue getting that covered under this. Who does that benefit? It doesn't benefit the migrant. Most people are saying it's the migrants. Well, they already passed a law. It said that, and as a person, grew up in Southern California, when they passed that, they didn't go to the doctors. If they had a cold or whatever, they just went to the ER, and the ER would write them prescription for whatever they need. They get it there, and they go. So they were already getting this. So the migrants are not benefiting this. The hospital owners are benefiting this, because then they're paid, and they're paid by us, and those additional premiums that we're paying, like,
they don't
that's
have to chase down to collect the debt.
Right. And then of course the people that are trying to change this system are the fascists, which is really ironic. Like, communists, dictator, Nazis, fascist, we're the ones who are trying to, reformat that system. So
what are you going to do?
Be nice to people. Don't lose friends over arguments over healthcare. Read a fucking book. Do something,
Yeah, we didn't have enough time. We're 2.5 hours in. I didn't expect us to talk this long about healthcare, but you know what? It's one of those things where, like, you get carried away and you start to learn more and more about something, and that's the idea of guys' night, is to sit down around a table and have a conversation. Did you learn anything tonight, Evan?
Yeah.
At Evan Snaps.
At Evan Snaps. Well, there's so much about healthcare. There's politics. There's money involved. There's all these things. We could go days, weeks, and talk about it and break it all down, but it all depends on your beliefs, your views, all that stuff. It's everybody's views and beliefs on it. That's all it is.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and you could say, yes, we should be. There's people should be able to drink and smoke whatever they want. There's other people that say no, because it's going to hurt on the health system, and it's going to put more strain on the health system. That means more people. Everybody's going to have to pay more, or certain people are going to have to pay more than others. And there's other people that are like, none of the migrants should be getting health care at all, since they don't pay taxes or anything. It all depends on beliefs and views again. We go on months and weeks about it. But again, the deciding factor is the people in power. We can talk about it, but
we put them there.
Do you get your texts on your laptop?
Oh boy.
Just now?
Do you? I'm asking.
Oh, yeah.
Play this video here real quick.
All right, this is going to be the last one of the night.
This is for those out there making all these arguments about how the U.S. is so terrible because
I love those arguments.
Because of how we are with our migrants and everything. Let's talk about what's going on. We're just in Ireland. Let's talk about what's happening over in Ireland now.
I see the people fighting back at the.
You can skip ad.
Yeah, I was waiting.
I've heard about that.
Hold on a second. Start from the beginning.
You could probably go into the action.
And now moving to the Republic of Ireland, where violence erupted for the third consecutive night outside a hotel housing asylum seekers near Dublin. Irish police said 23 people were arrested late on Wednesday after hundreds of protesters clashed with officers outside the City West Hotel
Irish Lives Matter.
in Sigurd, southwest of the capital. The unrest followed a series of violent demonstrations triggered after a 26-year-old man was charged in court after the alleged sexual assault of a 10-year-old girl near the City West Hotel in the early hours of Monday morning. Authorities have not confirmed his immigration status, but reports say that he was an asylum seeker who inflamed tensions in a country already grappling with growing anti-immigrant sentiment. Now, what began as a peaceful protest on Monday quickly spiraled into chaos on Tuesday and Wednesday. Bottles, bricks, and fireworks were hurled at police, with 2 officers taken to the hospital. A police van also was set ablaze on Tuesday night, sending flames and smoke billowing into the air, while videos showed protesters waving Irish flags, chanting anti-immigrant slogans, and launching projectiles at police lines.
I mean, yeah, it's no different than what's going on over here,
Yeah.
right? You have a select few that want to fight for the illegal immigration of random people without control.
Yeah.
Open borders, so call it. Then you have the others that are like, hold on a second, we have enough issues in our own country, like fucking Obamacare and a bazillion other things as well, obviously. And it takes the tension off of it. It takes the attention off, it takes the focus off of it. It takes actual action it prevents action from being able to happen, which is what politicians want. I don't care what side you're on. It's to the point anymore. Like if you're considering yourself only Republican or only Democratic, like you're putting yourself in a position to back a party rather than a principle or a policy. And that's where we're at right now is so many people are sided one way or the other, just giving them full control. Like ultimately it's just going to keep correcting itself every 4 years, right? Like, oh, now the Republicans have full control from the House all the way up to the presidency. Right. Next election, something's going to change. Either the Senate, they're going to lose a seat or two, or the House, they're going to lose 10 seats. In 2 years, they could lose 10 seats, right? Or not even a year. So
next year,
yeah. So I mean, ultimately, that power is going to continue to bounce back and forth, and you might look at it as like, oh, the Democrats have the power, the Republicans have the power. No, all the politicians have the power. The ones that have been in office for 30, 40 years, the ones that have worked every scenario in order to keep control. The ones that, you voted for because you thought there was an actual reason to stand behind them, like look at AOC. Like I remember hearing that story thinking
she's
like,
so hot.
I remember hearing that story. I was like, dude, a bartender from the Bronx or whatever it was, like she's going to get it. Like she's going to be used to talking to the people, hearing the different people that come into her bar and like what they're, it's like she's going to get it. And it's like,
oh, she's going to get it, Will.
It's like, then you see what happened. It's like, good Lord, she's a fucking nut job. Like like half the shit that she says makes absolute zero sense. But so many people are like team blue that they have to just back what she says. And it's like, it'd literally be like us sitting across from each other and being like, man, dicks are so much better than vaginas. And just, you have to just go with it.
Can piss standing up without pissing on your own feet. Quick last note on that. You brought up Japan earlier. Second most restrictive immigration system in the world in Japan.
Well, they're actually starting to open up their borders, and now they're regretting it because there's a bunch of Indians and a bunch of other.
Say you're racist without saying racist.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just not saying racist. It's true, but it was because it's a quiet culture.
When was the last time you shopped at a 7-Eleven?
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, I beat you. I shopped at one 3 hours ago. So you know why? Because I'm not racist.
What? Well, because there's a video. I'll have to send it to you guys.
TikTok?
No, YouTube of
American TikTok. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Well, Japan. They're quiet. They're quiet. They're collective.
They got quiet zones.
Yeah. Well, in India, there's a chant or a prayer that they do outside where they start walking in lines and hitting themselves or something. I don't know exactly what it is.
Oh God! You're just fucking being so politically incorrect right now.
Is this masturbation you're talking about?
Speaking of Japan, right now Japan has a crisis, guys. This is one. This is like when you show up at the party, you show up at the sausage fest. Japan has 5.5 million fewer working men from age 20 to 39 than they did in 95. However, there's 1.2 million extra men who will never find a wife. 33% of men are single from 30 to 34, only 22% of women, because there's 2 million men left over. What is this?
No wonder why Evan's so anxious to go back to Japan.
Oh, they love us foreigners. They love us.
There's a lot more men than women. That's what I think he was going for there, buddy. Did you just... You know what? On that note, everybody, have a good night.
Goddamn. Good night, everyone.
No, but when I went to Japan, the bars had a lot more women.
Well, of course, man.
It was very interesting.
Set you up.
But no, I gotta find these videos. My friends were sending me videos because he was stationed in Japan, and